Welcome everybody back to Kong Academy. Today we're going to be working on Kongs, and Kongs. Today's all about vaulting today. And while we're doing our vaults today, we're going to be trying to make some responsible decisions because the vault that we're going to be working on is a high commitment vault. Now there are two kinds of vaults. There is a low commitment vault and a high commitment vault. A low commitment vault is a vault that can be stopped at any time. Whereas a high commitment vault, once you take off, you have to follow through and go for it. So when we do a high commitment vault, you need to be making a whole nother layer of decision making, and you need to, in order to stay safe. So while we were practicing today, you need to make a responsible decision. And in order to make a responsible decision, I like to have people follow what I call the STAR method. Stop, think, act, and reflect. So before you do your Kongs today, I want you to stop. I want you to think, am I going to, what do I need to do to be safe? And then I want you to perform your movement and then think about what could you do differently. And this is going to help you both stay safe while you're practicing your movements, but it's also a really good assessment tool for you to develop even more of feedback for yourself on how to improve your movement. So we're going to be working on Kongs today. And if this is your first day joining us, I want to give you a personal invitation and say thank you for joining us today. And if you've been with us before, you know that we always warm up first. So we're going to go ahead and start with our warm up. And because we're going to be doing vaults today, the things that we need to pay attention to the most are warming up our wrists, because we're going to be pushing off of blocks and with a lot of force. And we want to make sure that our joints are ready and stable. So the best way that I like to start whenever I'm going to practice vaulting is I warm up my wrists. Now, a really nice wrist warm up is to just start by putting your hands flat on the ground, and you're just going to lean forward, and you're going to rock forwards and backwards. Then you're just going to lean forward, opening up the backs of your hands as much as you can. And you're just going to rock and shift your weight forward and back, shifting your weight forward and back. And your fingers are forward, your arms are straight, your palms are flat on the floor. And then now what I want you to do is I'd like you guys to take your fingers and then rotate them so your hands are behind you. I want you to turn out those arms as much as you can and sit back onto your heels and lean forward, sit back onto your heels. And we're just rocking back and forth, trying to open up those wrists as much as we can. And then after we've done about 5 or 6 of those, what we're going to do is point our fingers off to the side. And we're just going to go back and forth like this, moving side to side, opening up those wrists as much as we can, just shifting forwards and backwards, side to side. And then from here, what I'm going to have you do is I'm actually going to have you go back to being forward. And I want you to press your fingertips to the ground and come back down. So I just want you to push your fingers down and lift your palms off the ground. And we're just going to do this a few times, just kind of putting weight into our fingertips, pushing them down, just like this. Good. Now we're going to leave all of our fingers on the floor, and we're just going to lift our palms. Now, if you want more of a challenge, I'm going to move my knees further away from my hands, and I'm going to lift my palms off the ground. I'm just going to lift up and down, easy peasy, just like this. And from here, I'm going to have you guys try to go up to your plank position. So now we're loading those wrists just a little bit more. And what I'd like you to do is, in your plank position, give me a high five. And then switch sides, give me a high five. High five this side, high five this side, and then switch, switch, switch. Now from here, can you pick up one foot and the opposite hand and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bring down that foot, bring your other foot up. Bring your other hand up and hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, Teddy. And hi, Izzy. How are you guys today? So from here, I'm going to have you guys go from your plank. You're going to go up to a squat, and you are going to we're going to work on a little bit of side monkeys. So go ahead and go 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 hands, 2 feet. And we're just going to do a lap around the room, doing our side monkeys. And then we're going to change our other sides. We're going to switch sides, work on our side monkeys around the room. And from here, I'm going to have you do a prowl around the room. Prowl is hands and feet moving opposite sides. So moving opposite sides, hands and feet, moving opposite sides. And you're just going to move those opposite sides together. Good. Now, the next thing that we're going to practice is we're going to do our ground kongs, because today we're focused all on doing kongs. So we're going to work on ground kongs. Now remember, a ground kong goes 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 hands, 2 feet, going forwards. And it is a symmetrical move. So my hands move together and my feet move together. So we're going to go 2 hands, 2 feet. And we'll go 2 hands, 2 feet back. 2 hands, 2 feet. And 2 hands, 2 feet back. Just like that. Great. So from here, I want to do the another type of ground kong. But this time what you're going to do is you guys are going to work on doing a ground kong over an object. So I have a towel that I'm going to use. And I'm going to put something down. It could be anything. You could put a line of tape on the ground. You could put a towel on the ground. Anything that you can put nice and easy on the ground. And all you're going to do is you're going to use this as a marker. And you're going to stand and take 1 step away, squat down. And what I want you to try to do is kong over the ground marker with using just your hands on the ground marker. So we dive over and try to land with your feet to the other side. We're going to do that a few times. So we're going to just reach forward, ground kong, and go back. And we'll go again. We'll just ground kong, going over and back on our ground object. Just like that, 2 hands, 2 feet. So we're going to swing our arms out just to slow it down just a little bit. You're going to swing your arms out in front of you. And as you swing your arms out in front of you, you're going to be pushing off of your feet. And then when your hands get there, you're going to pull your body past the object, bringing your feet with you, just like that. So you're going to swing your arms, plant your hands, push with or pull with your arms to pull your feet over to the other side. Just like that, okay? Great job. So as we're doing our ground kongs, the whole idea is how can we take something on the ground and build it up off of the ground to be able to kong over objects safely. So I like to teach people to progress slowly and gradually. Keep doing the moves that you know you can do, and then try to earn the next one, but don't try to do a ground or a kong right over a wall first until you know you can do them on the ground, okay? So I'm gonna have you work on your kongs on the ground, and the next thing that we're gonna work on is we're gonna just work on a handstand kick up, because one of the main things that when you are doing a kong is you wanna be able to get your hips over your shoulders. So I just want you to place your hands down on your kong object, and I just want you to kick your hips over your shoulders, and just do that a few times. Hips over your shoulders. Now, I don't need you to hold a handstand. All I need you to do is be able to get your hips over your shoulders and come right back down. So it could be this, and that's just fine. You could do it really nice and high, but if you start to go over, you need to be able to turn your body so you land with your feet. So if I go too far forward, I need to turn my body so I can land with my feet. Okay, so hands on the object. Let's do 5 more kick-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great. So now that we have done our handstand kick-ups, we've done our ground kongs over an object, the next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to start working on our object. So if you have a stack of pillows, that's good. If you have a bench or an ottoman or something that you can, like a footstool, that's a good option. But the best option is going to be if you could use your couch, okay? Now, funny enough, I don't own a couch, but I do have these really fancy parkour blocks that I'm going to use. So I'm going to plop it down. And what I'm going to work on is the next bit is I'm going to work on I'm going to work on doing a Kong hinge. Now, a hinge is just placing my hands on the object and getting my hips up nice and high. So if whatever you have, it could be the armrest of your couch, it could be the back of your couch, or it could be your footstool. And you're just going to place your hands on top of it, and you're going to rock yourself up, try to get your hips up just like this. So you're going to reach forward, plant your hands, and then kick and cast your hips up nice and high and try to stall on your arms for just a second. We're just going to rock back and forth. We're just going to rock back and forth. Now keep going, keep doing that, but make sure that when you are doing this, you're looking around the room and you're thinking to yourself, am I going to kick something? I better move that lamp, or I better ask my parent to help me move this table. Because the last thing you want to do is, as you're doing your kick up, if you come down and you kick an object, it could really hurt your toe. So just, you're going to reach forward, plant your hands, cast your hips up, and again, reach forward, cast them up. And you're just going to work on getting this nice cast. Good. So from here, we're working on getting our Kongs nice and good. So we have two directions we could go. Direction number one is I could Kong over an object onto something soft. Now, I have a lot of fun soft objects to use. For example, I have a big old pillow that I can use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to Kong over the object, and this is my crash zone. So I want to be able to set something up nice and safe for me to land on. So I'm going to work on Konging over an object and crashing onto my landing zone. And you can stack a bunch of pillows, or if you have a couch, you could Kong over the armrest onto the cushions of the couch, or you could take the cushions off and try to Kong over the back of the couch. So I'm going to try to Kong over my object, but I'm going to land right into a splat. I don't have to worry about how I land on the ground. As long as I'm able to kind of splat onto something nice and soft, then I'm okay. So I want to just Kong over and splat, because the idea is I want to get comfortable diving over the object. So I'm going to move my camera up a little bit, and all I care about is how you are diving over the object. Two hands, push down, and just kind of Superman over this block, nice and easy. Now, if that feels easy, the next thing I'm going to have you try to do is land in our QM pose. So if you can, I want you to land with two hands and 2 feet. So from here, you are going to do your Kong, and you're going to try to land into all fours, just like this, okay? So we're going to try that again. And I'm just going to Kong up and over into my QM. And if that feels starting to feel pretty easy, I want you to not use your hands anymore. I want you to try to land in a squat. So let's try that again. And I'm just going to reach and Kong over and land right into a squat, just like that. Okay? So some of you might not have pillows and things to use. So Konging over the object is not even an option for you. If that's the case, what I want you to learn how to do is I want you to learn how to do what's called a Kong up. Especially if you're going outside to practice our Kongs, you're not going to bring a bunch of pillows and pads with you, so you need to do something safe. First thing I want you to do is learn how to do a Kong up. So you're going to just put your hands on here, use your hands to push down as hard as you can, and you're just going to hop up to your feet. This is a Kong up. 2 hands, 2 feet, just like on the ground, how we went 2 hands, 2 feet. We're now doing that going upwards, trying to land on top of my object. 2 hands, 2 feet. Okay? So let's do that a couple of times. 2 hands, 2 feet. Hop down. And one more time. We're going to go 2 hands, 2 feet. Hop down. Good. So there's the next step for you to be able to Kong over an object safely is how you land. Now, how you land is going to be kind of tricky. I'm going to rotate this for you so you can see me a little bit better. So how I'm going to land on my object is when I Kong over, I'm gonna try to land with my heels on the edge of this object. So then when I'm landing, my feet are on the object, but just barely. So that way I just slip right down. So I'm gonna Kong up and I'm gonna try to land my heels on the other side. So Kong up to my heels, hop down. Okay, let's try that a couple more times. Kong up to heels, hop down. And one more. Kong up to my heels, hop down. And the easier that it gets when I'm Konging to my heels, the further and further out I can go, the more likely I'm able to just get over without even, well, I'm still trying to land on my heels. It's gonna be almost like, oh, I just went over without even trying. So I want you to try to Kong up, trying to land on your heels. And if that starts to feel easy, I want you to try to do the whole thing, go all the way over. So very similar to the Kong up, very similar to the Kong landing on my heels. I'm just gonna Kong up, and now I'm all the way over. Now, one important tip that I'm gonna give you is when you're doing a Kong, don't let your hips be in front of your shoulders, because that's an entirely different move. A Kong is where my shoulders are always in front of my hips. So my shoulders were always in front of my hips. A cash vault, on the other hand, and I'll have to teach you cash vaults next time, is when I'm hopping up and ending with my hips in front of my shoulders. So make sure that your shoulders, when you're trying a Kong vault, is always in front. So one more time, shoulders in front of hips, just like that, okay? Alrighty, so I'm glad that we got to work on some Kong vaults today. They are my favorite vault. And I hope that you guys stayed safe. I hope you had fun. Make sure that while you are practicing, you are identifying, you have some self-awareness about what you need to do. Because I went through a whole bunch of progressions for you to learn how to do a Kong. But you might not be ready to do some of those progressions. And that's okay. Realize that learning is a process, and it'll take time for you to develop skills, just like it took time for you to learn how to walk and learn how to read and write. So this is no different. You're just gonna need to accept that learning is a process, take your time, be safe, and be self-aware about what you need to do, not what you want to be doing. Because sometimes those two things can be a little different. I want you to focus on what you need to be doing, and if what you need to be doing is just staying on the ground and working on your Kong over the towel, or you need to just be working on doing a Kong up onto an object, that's fine. Whatever you need to be doing is what I want you to be focusing on, not at what you want to be doing, because if you focus on what you need to do and you take little tiny steps, gradually progressing, you're gonna reach your goal, okay? So I'm really proud of you guys today. Kudos for following along. Thanks for practicing with us. If you wanna do more, you can go to our website where we have Kong Academy, and we have 6 crickets virtual classes that you can join us with. And if you would like to join our free online Facebook page, which is Kong Academy Online Movers, we have a bunch of games and challenges and things that you can try, which are super fun. But until then, I want to give you kudos for following along. Stay safe, make responsible choices, practice those Kongs. We always end class the same way. So please put your hand into the middle, and we all say this together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We start together, we finish together. We are a team, we help each other. Parkour. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, friends.